Welcome to another video, Walk on the Wild Side, and I'm here in Blackpool and it's blooming freezing, that's what it is. I'm here on South Beach, there's the South Pier. I tell you what, it's really misty at the moment, and yeah, it's absolutely freezing today. In fact, I'd say at the moment it's a balmy 0 degrees centigrade. We're just looking towards the place of it now. If I say 32 Fahrenheit, does that sound a little bit better? That's how the Americans say it, isn't it? They use a Fahrenheit. That's the old measurement, isn't it? I think Celsius is better, isn't it? Mind you, the Americans are not that advanced with the measurements, are they? They're still using imperial. So we're looking towards the roller coaster. In fact, I just want to take you down this way. We'll just have a little walk along the promenade, see what's going on here in Blackpool on a freezing cold day. On Monday, we've got a crane up over here. I think that they're doing some work on the big one. Look at this, wow. We won't be able to see the tower today either, I bet. There's the thing, could you imagine Blackpool without Blackpool Tower? It might have happened, you know, but for one man, John Bickerstaff, probably doesn't really ring a bell to a lot of people, but if it wasn't for John Bickerstaff, Blackpool Tower probably wouldn't have been built. Look at these gardens there, all iced up. Yeah, so John Bickerstaff was actually a former mayor of Blackpool, and he also owned pubs and businesses, and he actually sold a lot of his businesses to fund the construction of the tower because he didn't sell enough shares to build it. Yeah. And we might not have had the big one if it wasn't for Geoffrey Thompson, because he was a visionary, travelled the world, travelled all the theme parks, looked at what everybody else was doing and said, I want that in Blackpool. And this is what he did. He brought the big one, roller coaster, to Blackpool, the tallest in the world at its time, and it was the tallest for 2 years. It comes a long way down the list now though, the big one. I don't even think it's in the top 30. Yeah, and look at this, they're actually replacing some of the track there. They're taking the track away. Look at that, amazing. I always seem to be on the spot, don't I? Yeah, look at this here, they're taking that massive piece of track off there, off one of the return hills there, yeah. Yeah, they have to keep replacing every so often. They did replace quite a lot of track on the you know, on the first drop there. They've had to reprofile that over the years. It was a little bit too sharp at first, but that was reprofiled. It was built by Aerodynamics of the USA, who were no longer going. I think that Aerodynamics were consumed into S&S, who make those space shot rides, you know, the space shot rides. So there you go, a bit of history on the big one. 1994 was when it was built. Yeah, it's getting on for 30 years old. How about that, eh? Well, I just got to show you this. We're now looking towards the sun, and just look at that. The clouds and the mist and fog are filtering out the light from the sun so that we can actually see it. We can see the disk of the sun. Isn't that absolutely amazing? I bring everything to you on this channel, don't I? And on the subject of the sun, I just wonder whether we're going into a Maunder minimum. A Maunder minimum last occurred in about the 1600s, I think, when the Thames froze over. Yeah, it's when you get a period of inactivity on the sun, when you get less sunspots, that sort of thing, over a long period of time. Now, we have actually been in a period of low sunspot activity over the past few years, so you never know, it could be something to do with that. Well, the sun is starting to break through. I think it might warm up in a minute. What do you think? I'll tell you what, this climate change thing, I'm not too sure at the moment, you know, the way things are going. It could just be a cyclical thing, couldn't it? Yeah. Well, a lot of people doing very well out of it anyway. It's not a bad business to be in. It does feel a bit like we are in a low cloud at the moment. Amazing, yeah, like as if we've got an inversion going on. We can even see the tower just popping out there now. So it does look like it's clearing. Anyway, I'm now at this little bit here, and if you don't know, we're just opposite Watson Road, where the tunnel is underneath the pleasure beach. And I'm not sure if you're aware, but these circles here, these were meant to be foundations. There's two of them. In fact, I think that's one over there maybe. These circles here were meant to be foundations for a ride from the pleasure beach that would come over the promenade to here. But that ride never got going. Now these were meant to be where the columns were that held up the track. And it was a track that come straight across there, and it would go straight up here like that to about 200 feet or something like that. Yeah, amazing. Into the clouds today. Look at that. Wow. Yeah, so this part of the promenade here is supposed to be the Great Promenade Show with artworks. Oh, unfortunately, quite a lot of the artwork has disappeared. This is one here that was like a couple of sculptures on top of these two plinths here, one there and one there. It was called Life is a Circus and Four Up and Equestrian. Now, unfortunately, the two statues, bronze statues that stood on there, about 4 or 5 foot, were targeted by metal thieves. It's always the case, isn't it? Yeah. So that's no longer with us anymore, unfortunately. A Peter Blake artwork. Now they did actually replace them with, I think, pewter. Was it pewter versions? But even those were targeted. And I think if you want to see these artworks now, you have to go into the main office in town to see them. Yeah. We also lost the high tide organ down there fairly recently, and more recently than that we lost Frankenstein, although I don't think people are too bothered about Frankenstein. That was the diving chamber thing which had a T-Rex in it or something. But we still have the mirror ball though. At least we have something. Even these whale tail design benches were supposed to rotate with the wind and keep the wind behind you. But I think you had to lock them because of them being dangerous or something like that, you know, when they spun around. So even those were part of the artworks, but they had to lock them off. And just look at this promenade here. This is quite unique to see Blackpool Promenade frozen up like this, because when you think of all the salt that comes from the sea, normally any kind of frost or snow melts in no time, but this frost here is sticking around. Okay, I'm going to make my way to the mirror ball, which is just up there, but I've got to show you this first. Just look how tranquil this is. Just listen to that. How calm is that? You know what, I could leave it on there. I could do a whole video on that, couldn't I? Yeah? Be like one of those ASMR videos, wouldn't it? Yeah? It would do pretty well. Anyway, that's Desire over there. It's like 2 slabs of rusty steel with like big teeth coming out of it. What do you think to Desire? I wonder if they'll have to pull this one down sometime because it's all started to rust away, but maybe that's the idea. But anyway, I just wanted to quickly show you something over here as the tram goes past. The Kimberley Hotel over there is still boarded up. But just on the other side of the Kimberley is the Hampton by Hilton on this crescent. There's two crescents here on South Promenade, and this one is actually being expanded, look. So it's not all doom and gloom here in Blackpool. Anyway, let's go and check out the mirror ball, shall we? Okay, so I'm now at the mirror ball, and they replaced all 42,000 mirrors last year, yeah. Look at this, looking good, isn't it? Yeah, look at that there, look. Anyone fancy a disco? One thing they didn't replace was the projections from the stands here. There was 6 of them, can you see? They didn't replace them because I think it was something to do with dazzling the traffic that drives past. So the mirror ball now only reflects the sun and whatever other lights happen to be shining on it. Well, it looks pretty good. There you go, that was a little walk around here in Blackpool on South Promenade. Nothing too special, I just thought I'd take you on a bit of a walk along the promenade in the freezing cold. I didn't know that they were replacing the track on the big one, so that's a bit of a bonus. I might have to come back and do a video on that if they do any more. Anyway, I hope you like this video. If you do, hit the like button and also hit subscribe and tick the bell for notifications of new videos, and I will see you again on the next one.